Welcome to the Thanksgiving edition of
Whiskey and Water. I'm your co-host, Olivia.
And I am your co-host, Jessica.
And we're back at it again, brothers.
We are back at it again, and we are going to kick this episode off with being thankful for our sponsors. And yes, sponsors.
Sponsors with an S, plural.
Because we've got two today, guys.
Because we popping like that.
Today, we are thankful for Celsius.
Another week, another flavor. Let's see. We got sparkling cola today.
Yes, we were a little hesitant, skeptical,
if you will.
You could say. And it is actually
fire.
It's good. Surprisingly good.
Okay, I won't lie. I haven't tried it myself.
I
but
have.
Tyler has taken one for work every day, as he does. And yeah, he was, he had the same kind of skeptical vibe, like, interesting cola. And he was like, the cola is fire. It tastes like Coke.
Yes.
Does it actually? You would know. She's a Coke girl.
Yeah, Danny, my roommate, said the same thing. We had Danny on last week. He is also addicted to the Celsius Life.
And steals all of hers.
Yes, and he's the one that put me onto the cola. I was like, Fuji apple pear though, and he was like, nah, trust.
Everything Celsius does is gas, all right? And you got the Coke flavor, but without the high fructose corn syrup.
That part.
You love that. No aspartame.
No aspartame.
No preservatives.
No artificial sweeteners.
Colors or flavors.
Hell yeah, brother.
You love to see it. Link in our description. Y'all know the deal.
And moving on to our second sponsor of the day, we'll knock this out quickly. We have Mind Tan coming right back at you.
You guys, I don't know if you were around for the previous Mind Tan sponsorship, but y'all showed out. Y'all tried the shit out, and it's honestly...
And y'all looked bronze and beautiful.
It's so good. I've said it before. I'll say it again. Tyler loves it.
Yeah.
His little white boy self loves it. We used it for Jess's boat day.
Mm-hmm.
That's when you know it's good. Like
he looked great.
If your man's loves a product, it's good.
Yes, true.
So
when he's like, and he was like, yeah, Olivia mind tanned me last night. But we are going to be focusing on a product that we both tried recently, which is the Wonder Tan. The Wonder Tan is incredible because it is full of just really good stuff for the skin. It has hyaluronic acid and acts as a mega hydrator, drawing in your moisture to the skin and sealing the hydration, leaving you with divine, soft, visibly plump, pillowy skin.
Plump and plump. And the boost in skin hydration helps your tan go on smoother, go deeper, look more natural, and last longer with a more even fade.
Yes. One of my favorite parts about it, I will say, is that it doesn't it doesn't leave you like patchy.
Like it kind of looks like when you have a bad tan coming off, it kind of looks like a rash.
It does. Yeah. And I never look like that when my shit fades. I don't even realize that it's like gone, and then I'm like, oh wait, I'm pale again.
Yeah, literally. And I even used it on one leg the other day, and I kind of took it off, but for a normal one that would be so blotchy and noticeable, and for this it kind of just blended into the rest of my skin.
It really did.
Tell it was great. Brothers, use our code Whiskey and Water for 25% off. Link in our description. All right, brothers, so for this week we have our moment of gratitude segment. I love this segment, and I've just been super grateful lately, So what is your moment of gratitude today?
My moment of gratitude is that I am not spending this Thanksgiving. Just kidding. Well, I'm not spending this Thanksgiving at home. Thanksgiving with my family is a little messy, and I'm going to be spending it. This is going to be my first Thanksgiving. It's going to be my first Thanksgiving with Juan's family.
So sweet.
So I'm just really thankful for that. And I don't know, I'm just really excited. And I remember a few months ago, when we first started dating, he was talking about Thanksgiving with his family and stuff, and I was so excited, and now here we are.
I thought you were gonna say I'm thankful to not be spending this Thanksgiving alone. I was gonna be like,
oh my god, that's so morbid.
I literally thought that's what was coming. For my moment of gratitude today, I know I've said this before. I've said sunshine before, but I have to say I am so thankful for the weather this week. It has been impeccable. It has been chef's kiss, especially after last week. It was just torrential raining and flooding, and literally we had flash floods every day.
Yeah, it was flooding.
And now it's just this crisp, beautiful breeze, blue skies, sun is out. I drove here with my windows down, music blasting, and that just gives me life.
Yes.
It's the energy that I need.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I'm thankful for, is this gorgeous weather.
Yeah. And honestly, like, really nothing beats winter in Miami.
Nothing does, although it's not consistent. So like if it was more consistent, I would say yes. Mm-hmm. It beats everything else, but you know, whether it do be a little
up and down.
A little up and down sometimes.
Some days it's like 90, some days it's like 70.
Yeah, and literally the day after that we had that tropical storm, I was at the beach and it was a beautiful beach day, and I'm like I love this, but I also hate this.
Yeah,
like,
I feel that.
But yeah, so that is what we're grateful for. Now let's get into our squirt. I'm so glad you remembered.
Ben,
I did not think you were gonna remember.
All right, brother, what do you have to catch up on?
Well, this past weekend was very productive. We did a lot of home things. We just like wrote down a list on the whiteboard of just shit we wanted to knock out, and it's like, you know, cleaning out this drawer, the pantry, the Tupperware drawer, like washing our bed sheets, washing the futon sheets, washing the couch blankets. So it was just like home stuff, but I had such a nice weekend with Ty, and it was beautiful weather out, and we got out and we're playing with Ellie, and it was nice.
That sounds so nice.
It was really nice, and we were really productive, and I love being productive. It's such a good feeling of like cleaning out your pantry and it finally being organized. Speaking of being hella productive, so you know, I got that new desktop, and you know,
love the new desktop, and it's
like,
inspiring.
It is. It just makes you like want to work hard.
Yeah, honestly, like I'm low-key so jealous.
Oh my god, dude, I want it for you so bad, but like you don't have it. You need a space.
Once I cleared, like, so on one side of my apartment, I have so much Casa stuff. Yeah. So once I get
go follow the Casa Experience.
At the Casa Experience. Once I have a little, you know, showroom or, you know, just area that I can have everything in, I definitely want to transform that area, I think, into like a little nook.
Corner office.
Yeah, a little corner office.
I'm telling you, it's like such a vibe.
Yeah.
I was telling Tyler last night too, before we went to sleep, I was just like, thank you so much, because like it's a game changer. It's a fucking game changer.
That's such an adult thing.
And I'm like sitting there working, and I'm like, this is just so much easier than
so
my
adult.
laptop.
Like what am I doing on a MacBook Air? Wow, that sounds so privileged. I'm so sorry.
Oh my god.
But no, obviously, you know, this is, you know, we work on our computers.
It's our job.
I make do with the MacBook, but it's definitely like it's smaller than your laptop.
It's a move. It's 100% a move. I just so happened I had some, you know, some little
fast pill.
It's so crazy because I have a friend who, you know, slipped me a little Addy, and she gave me a 10 milligram, and I know that like I'm good on 5 milligrams. That's like a
chef's kiss.
That's like a little shot of espresso or like Cuban coffee, but like
throughout the day,
but like better.
Yeah,
like more like focused in a sense.
Yeah. I mean, it's literally,
and it's just crazy. Yeah,
it's a prescription drug.
That's what it's for. And it's just crazy because, like, bro, in high school I stayed taking like 30 milligrams of this shit.
No. I would have a literal heart attack
for all of my SAT prep. I was popping them like candy.
That's crazy.
And I'm over here like old as fuck on 5 milligrams, like.
She told me she comes into my apartment the other day, and she's like, dude, I was responding to emails from 3 years ago.
It'd be like that though. It really do.
Which is so funny.
Between the Addy and the desktop, I was just on a fucking roll.
Yeah.
I was busting it out.
Sounds like a dream.
And you can put like windows next to each other so easily. I'm like, I'm a robot.
Yeah. You're just a fucking machine.
So yeah, you know, just getting shit done.
Yeah.
How was your weekend? What's new with you? Squirt Squirt.
I literally have no idea what day it is. I've just been
floating.
like, which honestly in a kind of good way. Yeah. Like I've tried to be like really present and just kind of like, you know, going with the flow. I've been super busy. Like I do go from like thing to thing to thing. So like that does make it a little bit hard to stay present because you're constantly thinking about the next thing that you have to do.
Yeah.
But I've really been trying to like enjoy like the current things that I'm doing, whether it's like shooting or even like, you know, if I'm in the car on the way to my next thing. But
I love that for you.
The only thing I can really, what was this past weekend?
The only thing that's happening and that will ever be happening is the present moment. So
yeah, this past weekend, I just remembered I had to look at my calendar and have Olivia refresh my mind. We went to a little brunch, it was really good, but it was like a dinner brunch, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
they had basically just repurposed their dinner menu, like,
which you already like.
I'm trying to have like
waffles, yeah, eggs. There wasn't eggs on the brunch menu.
Bitch, tell me how. I asked for a side of bacon, and he was like, we don't have that. And I was like, it's on the fucking menu.
What?
And he was like, we're not serving that right now. I said, you're not serving bacon
at brunch?
I said, catch me never coming back.
Yeah, actually though.
Yeah, I was like really upset.
Trash.
Anyways, but I mean, overall it was good. And then I ended up spontaneously going on a boat, which was really nice. It was a little chef's kiss.
Very Miami of you.
It was really nice, and just got to enjoy a little bit of sunlight, got a little lit.
We love
that for me.
Yeah,
and then we had we had
a great meeting.
We had such a good meeting
yesterday. Or no, the day before.
Was it not yesterday?
Like we said, we're just floating these days.
Floating.
You know? I feel like that just is
floating.
Like kind of a season right now, a chapter of our lives. Like we're kind of just like
floating,
going with the flow.
Honestly, though,
I'm here for it.
But yeah, we had a good meeting 2 days ago, whatever it is.
It was really good. We have some exciting stuff coming up as always for you guys. Oh, speaking of exciting stuff coming up.
Oh, yes. Merch update.
Yeah. Things are happening.
Did I peep what you did?
Yes.
I have not peeped what you did yet. But we will do that after.
Guys, we promise merch is coming by the end of this season. It's kind of a slow process, you know?
Yeah, because
you want to take your time with it, and you know,
when it's like, I mean, the thing is, like, there's a lot of like decisions being made between the designer, Olivia, and I, like, on making sure that we like where everything is and what it's on, and we have a lot of options.
Yeah, I think we're getting carried away with the options because it's like the more the merrier, you know?
Yeah, because it's gonna basically be,
you know what, we should,
it's like made to order, so like it's not like we have to like buy like, you know, everything in bulk and then sell it out. So it's made to order so that like we can have a lot of those options for you guys and not like have to like break the bank.
And if you want it, you can have it. If you don't, you
don't have to have it.
But yeah, it's been a fun process. We love designing stuff, and it's honestly good practice for like whatever is down the line for us, you know?
Potentially.
Just saying.
Might be good practice.
We have ideas. Anyways, yeah, so our meeting went really, really well. And there's just something about sitting in a meeting in an office where you're just like
rich. It's adult.
Y'all get it.
I felt very adult in the past like couple weeks. I don't know if it's like 25 hit us.
Bitch, I'm telling you, I'm on that vibe too.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean,
like
this is actually just like a really crazy like time in our lives right now. Like if you think about it, like, bro, we're gonna look back on this one day and like we're gonna be like, oh my god, we were planning your engagement party, and you know, we were excited you were working on a desktop, and like, you know what I mean, literally. And like going to meetings and stuff. Like,
I think it's so good though to not take those things for granted, you know?
No, not
like
at all.
To be so excited about, and although it's like a material item, it's like, I don't know.
No, it's okay to be excited about material things.
I want to stay this excited about like everything in my life. You know what I mean?
100%. And actually, I was thinking about it the other day because I know that we've kind of been like on the fence about like you kind of going too hard for your engagement party, and like, you know, how we like do the most for a lot, and I've been thinking about it, and it's like, dude,
that's what life is.
That's what life is. And like how like you're never gonna do this again. Like, correct. You have, and in it, you know, you are so young, so I think that like, you know, you want to do it well because you don't want to have like looked back on this experience and been like
I could have done more.
I could have done more. Yeah, could have done it better. And you know, like I've just been thinking about it, and yeah, I'm just really, I'm hyped for you, and I'm so excited.
It's gonna be so good, y'all.
It's gonna be excited. So good.
I don't even like, I don't even think you know like the whole how good it's gonna be, but I'm excited.
I don't, because fortunately she hired someone so that
thank God
so that I don't have to know.
And we're keeping it very COVID friendly. We're having 50 people. I mean, and that sounds like a lot, but between two people, that's 25 each. That's our closest friends and family.
Yeah,
that's it.
And it's outdoors,
all outside. We're making masks. We're gonna have hand sanitizer stations. We're gonna encourage social distancing. Yada yada yada. But yeah, we're pulling the trigger. We're doing the damn thing. I have dresses on the way. I ordered like 6 dresses on Revolve. I'm
so excited.
Praying one of them looks good.
Yeah, we need to start planning your engagement shoot.
Yes, we're gonna do a shoot. Lots of exciting things, guys.
Yeah, life is exciting.
What's next?
You just booked a commercial.
I booked a commercial. Exciting. Yeah, I can talk more about it, I guess, in next week's episode once I actually do it. But it's so funny because I casted for the like it's like a sports commercial, right? I got it through my sports agency, and I casted because they wanted people who were above average in a sport. So I was like, I don't play sports, but I can rollerblade. And like
above average in this sport.
Yeah. I was like, I literally said, I'm not a professional, but like, you know, I got some tricks up my sleeve. I have 0 tricks up my sleeve. So I was like kind of anxious about
Fake
booking
it
this.
till you make it.
Like that freaking dance music video I did.
Yeah.
Anyways, I get myself in bad situations sometimes. So I was a little anxious, but I just came from the fitting, and it turns out they're not even putting me in rollerblades. I'm going to be picking strawberries.
She's picking strawberries.
In a field.
Yeah. I don't know if they just like changed, like did a fucking 180 on
I think they
the
just
direction, but
want to use me for a different scene because they're shooting like 3 weeks, all different stuff.
Okay. Yeah, for sure.
So we out here booking commercials. So yeah, I'm really excited. I'm gonna be picking strawberries, and yeah, just it's always good booking work, you know, staying busy, booked and busy.
Absolutely love that for you.
Speaking of booking, you just booked a trip.
Hell yeah, brother. Juan and I just booked our Airbnb in Boston. Super excited.
And you guys are going there to check out schools?
Yes, he wants to check out Harvard.
Casual. Bitch.
I'm like,
I couldn't even get into UF.
I only applied to FIU. That's literally the only school I applied
I got
to.
rejected from the fucking University of Florida, and this dude is checking out Harvard. Like, what?
I also never took the SAT.
Did you take the ACT?
I took the ACT once because the school handed me a Scantron like during class, and I did it. And that was all I did. If that says anything about how I feel about school. And my boyfriend's out here checking out Harvard.
Crazy.
And so like they have a huge hospital there called Mass Gen. So he like wants to check that out, and I'm like, please hate Boston. Please hate Boston.
It'd be cold there.
It'd be cold. It'd be frosty.
Do you have enough like winter stuff?
I've been like hitting up brands.
Yeah,
I have like a bunch of
for
like
sure.
I have that guest set that I'm gonna bring.
Nice.
It's gonna be fucking cold.
I have some stuff too if you need to raid my closet.
Yeah,
I have like
I probably
furry
will.
like longer
Yeah.
coats and stuff.
I'll show you what I have after the episode. But yeah, it's gonna be fucking cold.
Cold, but that's so fun.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
Love a good trip.
It's a you know like 5-day trip. Nugget will be tearing up your apartment with Ellie, so that'll be fun.
It'll be fun.
But yeah, really excited for that. It'll be fun to get like a little change of pace, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
I never go to the cold, and I feel like cold is kind of romantic.
It is. It's very romantic.
Very romantic.
Keep me warm.
Yeah.
Let me have your sweater.
More like, get me the fuck out of the cold now.
Yeah, that's more you.
me stepping into any store I can because it's so cold outside.
Literally. Make sure you get some gloves.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
I got some in
your
from
hands
the brand.
have to stay. Even though they have those you guys know those like packs, those packets.
Heat warmer packets.
Yes, they're like
Those,
game changer.
Dude, those actually work so surprisingly well.
It's a chemical reaction. You just shake it up and that shit's
dude,
hot.
They're hot.
They're
like
hot.
they are hot.
When I was in
put some in my
Colorado,
shoes.
when I was in Colorado, I had them in my boots, in my gloves. I had them everywhere. Because that's what's the most uncomfortable is like your fingers getting and your toes getting so cold.
And feeling like they are literally going to fall off.
Yeah, like your body is always, I feel like my body's always like handled, but my like
it's the nose, the fingers, and the toes for me.
So fun. And then you guys are going away for Thanksgiving, right? For his family.
So we'll be in Sarasota, which I'm really excited about.
Love that.
It'll be my first time like I've met his mom and I've met one of his sisters. He has his 2 other sisters.
You're meeting the family. Fam.
I mean his mom already loves me, and she's
already on your team.
She's so sweet. Yeah, she responds to like every story of mine.
Love that.
And she's like
so does my ex-boyfriend's mom.
She really do. She responds to my shit now.
I would say her name, but
no,
continue.
It's so funny though, because like she commented on one of my like old ass posts, and I was like, I sent it a screenshot, and I was like, "Isn't this your ex's mom?" And she was like, "Yeah," and I was like, "That's so funny."
She follows, she supports, she buys my Poshmark shit.
You know, you guys were so young that it's kind of like, you know, she's seen you grow up. At the end of the day, it's not anything weird.
No, it's not. It's sweet. I love it.
Yeah, that's so sweet. But yeah, his mom loves me. Got that in the bag.
Always.
I'm like, where's the ring at? Shut the fuck up. Me telling myself to shut the fuck up.
Oh my god.
We're actually celebrating our 6 months this past weekend. This is gonna come out on Monday. Our 6 months is this past Saturday.
Love seeing you in a healthy relationship.
Love is love.
You love to see it.
Live, laugh, love.
Yeah, Thanksgiving is a little different this year, I think, for a lot of people. And it sucks because it's like, it's your family. And it's so tough.
And time with your family is priceless for a lot of people, you know?
And it's like you want, like, those are the only people that you love enough that you would like go out of your way to see, but also that the last thing you would want is for something to happen to them, you know? And like with COVID numbers going up, I just know there's a lot of conversation about like, what are your plans for Thanksgiving? What are our plans? Are we changing things? Are we canceling Thanksgiving? A lot of things in the media are saying, reconsider your Thanksgiving plans. Don't meet up with family.
Yeah, don't be traveling like super, like, you know, don't be like getting on a flight to go somewhere either. But I'm gonna stop you before we get fully into the Thanksgiving combo because that's gonna be the theme of our episode, and we're gonna get into, you know,
I forget we have more.
Yeah, so we're gonna be getting into, you know, being different, you know, dealing with your family if you are going to be with your family, and just things of that nature.
And then pick it up towards the end on a little lighter note, just talking about gratitude and being thankful and kind of what this holiday is about, even though fuck Christopher Columbus.
Yes, sir. But we are introducing a new fun segment,
and this is gonna replace mystery beef sometimes.
So we decided we're just gonna be like kind of interchanging them so that we like remain inspired. We don't want to force anything.
Facts.
So to now introduce our new segment
called
Casually Crying.
and this actually was inspired by just our life of like a few different instances of us being like, oh my god, yesterday I cried about this, and like,
you guys know I be crying out here.
She be crying. I
cry all the time.
As of late, I've been crying on my period and like, I've never been that girl who's like super emotional on her period, but like that bitch that is me now.
I have always been that bitch.
I don't know if it's because I'm old.
It's because your body wants babies.
It's because I'm 25.
Mature.
But yeah, I be crying about shit nowadays.
Yeah, so I was telling her, like, I literally cry like probably like once a day,
but like casually.
Yeah, and it's not it's not like out of like anything wrong. Like, we want to normalize crying.
Let's embrace, you know, having emotions. We're human, and sometimes
letting it out. Oh my god,
sometimes you just need a good cry.
You need a good cry, and I think that, like, you know, a lot of the time we kind of bury things down deep rather than just like feeling them and moving through them.
Yeah.
And I think that that's like just a huge problem, you know, within our society. Like, even if I'm like out, like, and I see something,
she be crying under her sunglasses.
Oh, 100%. I will not like not cry to make someone else comfortable. Like, I'm just like, yeah, I'm crying. You should cry too. It's good for you. But the other day I was like on my balcony, right? And I'm like looking down and I can see a few sidewalks from my balcony, and some guy was leaf blowing the sidewalk, because they do that like almost every day here. And
rich.
Yeah. And some guy that was like walking on the sidewalk, instead of like staying on the sidewalk and having the guy like stop leaf blowing, he like went out into the street and like went around the guy.
Meanwhile, she's watching this from her balcony.
I'm watching this guy from my balcony just go around the leaf blower, and I just start sobbing. I'm like, this guy is so nice, and he doesn't even know that people are watching him. And because, you know, like when you see someone do something that's just like nice out of literally just the kindness of their heart, not because anyone is watching them, and of course, like, you know,
not because they're recording it on their phone.
It's not like he, you know, fucking ended world hunger or something, but nice. You know, it's like little things like that, like that add up so much. And I don't know, I just thought it was like so sweet, and I'm just like sitting on my balcony crying at this guy and like wishing I could like, I'm like trying to send him like love and good energy from like my balcony.
You're so sweet.
So funny.
That. But yeah, no, I mean, I would get emotional about that too. Yeah. Catch me on the right day in the right moment, I'm crying about humanity. Honestly.
It's always the right day and the right moment for me.
The last thing that I cried about over absolutely no reason is kind of similar, just like a happy cry. It's like, it's a happy cry. Honestly, like, not even a friend of mine, an acquaintance from high school got engaged, and my ass was in tears. Like,
oh yeah,
like literally we were not friends.
Yeah.
We're not enemies, but like we're acquaintances.
Yeah, you just knew of that person. But honestly, there's really something very special about that because you saw them like when they were like a baby, and like you're growing up and like seeing these people. Like you're just happy for their happiness.
I just love, and I love for other people.
I love that.
So I was just eating breakfast and I saw it. I was just like, oh my god, so beautiful. And I was like, I'm getting my period.
And it's so funny though because sometimes I come across a post and I'm like, oh my god, so sweet. And then I come across a post and I'm like, ew. And like I send it to like my best friend from high school and I'm like, I can't believe these two people are getting married.
Or they're having a baby.
Yeah.
But you know what?
Depends on the day.
You know what? TikTok makes me cry all the time too. So I'm going to keep that in mind because I stay crying about TikToks.
Oh, 100%.
That gets you sometimes.
I could be cry laughing or I could just be just crying.
Yeah. If you guys have any funny submissions, we would love for you to get in on this. And also, guys, we never mentioned this. You can always, I guess you can always DM us, but you could also always email us. Our email is holla at whiskeyandwaterpodcast.com. If you guys have ideas for topics, we would love those. Like,
if you guys have submissions or if you guys need advice, like you don't have to wait for us to post like an advice hour column. Like you guys can just ask us for advice or ask us literally anything. And
if you have any submissions for casually crying, like I feel like everyone has funny stories, especially ladies, about like just random shit that they end up crying over.
Yeah.
Submit them, email us, holla at Whiskey and Water Podcast.
Hell yeah, brother.
All right.
Thankful for you guys.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thankful for today.
Honestly.
The brothers.
We love you guys. Yeah, so let's get into I was gonna say like a Thanksgiving feast or like a
Ooh. This is a feast of an episode.
Feast of an episode.
Because we got tea. We're going to be talking to you guys about some family shit, how to deal with the family shit.
Family tea.
I do think it's interesting, though, because, your mom is, like, specifically a little bit more cautious about COVID. And just because she's at risk and, so is her
boyfriend,
man.
Yeah.
And I really like how you guys kind of switched from doing something inside and changing it into more of like a picnic vibe.
Yeah, well, so there's a few changes that happen. Like Tyler's mom April does a Friendsgiving every year. It's all of Tyler's friends from high school. There's
me.
Yeah, and Jess. There's like 30 of them and we have a great time.
I forgot I went last year.
Yeah, we like play beer pong. It's a thing and it's so much fun.
Didn't we go to the Hard Rock after that?
Yeah,
that was a year ago. That was so much fun though. We played cornhole.
Yeah,
that was fun.
Yeah,
that was some fire food.
I know, it's like a great time and like everyone looks forward to it because it's the one time that they all like come together and see each other. But she made the decision to cancel it this year, which is a hard call. And like I was gonna say something, so I'm glad that she's just doing it because I was gonna say like maybe we should reconsider.
Yeah,
but yeah.
Also, I mean, some of Tyler's friends like
just
ended up getting it.
Yeah, like especially with his friend just getting it, and a lot of them are like coaches now too for like Optimus and the high school, so they are like.
What is Optimus?
Optimus is like. It's like a community sports program.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So a lot of them are coaching, so they're constantly like
just around a lot of people.
Yeah. So yeah, we canceled that, and that it sucks, but it's
what can you do? I mean,
what can you do? It's not worth it. And then even with my mom, we decided instead of doing it inside her apartment, we're gonna like rent a little cabana at a little state park and we're gonna do a picnic style Thanksgiving.
Love that for you.
Yeah, and I think that's nicer anyways. Gonna be outside enjoying the day. I'll have Ellie, and I think everyone should just consider making those types of switches.
Yeah.
I
mean, obviously, like if you're around your family already and you guys live together, do your thing. But like, don't be fucking calling up Grandpa Jen and Grandpa Tony, and
that's the scary thing is like
and putting your fucking grandparents at risk just because they don't believe in wearing a mask or something.
Right, like the people at risk are the ones who are attending the get-togethers.
Exactly. Yeah, can't be doing all that.
But it is what it is. It's just not worth it.
And also, guys, tests are really accessible these days.
CVS.
Like literally, Olivia and I both went to CVS after being exposed, and
you drive through.
You
swab yourself.
Like everything is extremely clean. Like you don't touch anything that like someone who might have had it touched. Like it's a really great process, and you get the results back in like 48 to 72 hours.
Literally, like on the second day, I wake up in the morning at like 7, and they're like, "Your results are ready." I'm like, "Great."
Yeah, you got yours super early. I got mine like the later in the day. And
Yeah.
and if you guys are gonna, you know, make those decisions to be around people, like, you know, power to you. However, please do it responsibly. And that's that.
And that's on
COVID.
That's on being responsible.
Moving past the little pandemic. So we obviously just kind of want to take this time to talk about also like familial issues. Because
this time of the year, you know, we all getting together, and sometimes family
can be hard, and especially given the current political climate. I know that we all of, you know, the younger generation tends to have a differing opinion than
their parents or grandparents,
than your crusty old grandparents. No, I'm kidding. I love my grandparents. But yeah, it can definitely be like kind of like ostracizing.
Yeah.
And even like specifically for me, like I've been getting into it with my dad, and I've been getting into it with my fucking conservative cousin.
It doesn't help that Thanksgiving is literally a few weeks after the debate.
I know.
Whoever decided that, why?
Whoever decided that.
Why did you do that to us?
Yeah. So I know that this like time can be especially hard for people. So we kind of just want to talk about like setting boundaries, and even if you have to, like, you know, like I would choose to be around my like dad and stuff for Thanksgiving if I was going to be here. But, you know, my certain cousin, I don't want to fucking be around.
Yeah.
And if he was going to be there, I would choose to opt out for my own, you know, mental health.
Yeah.
And because I don't want to, like, I'm not trying to fight with you, bro.
Yeah,
like, I'm not trying to fight with you.
Put yourself in that situation. And it's tough because, like, Thanksgiving is all about family. Like, that's the whole point. And get together with your family at the table. And
but you know what? Like, at this point in our lives, like, you can choose your family, dude.
Yeah.
Like, family does not have to be blood. Like, you know, we have a chosen family. And even, like, so actually, this is so funny. I just remembered this. Me and 3 of my other cousins started a group chat called The Sane Ones, which actually came from
God, the beef is real,
dude. And like we're actually having like a little Friendsgiving with ourselves, because, you know,
just need that good energy.
And this is like, you know, they're my cousins on the side of my family that's fucking insane. So it's like we lean on each other for support, and I'm so grateful for them, because it's like
at least you have them.
At least I have them, and they understand what I'm going through, like way more than anyone could ever fathom, because their parents are literally all the same. Like, we come from like a huge family on my dad's side, which is the fucking crazy side. And it's just really nice to have them. And it actually, like, the group chat was born out of another group chat. Like,
oh God. So many family group chats.
Dude, there's so much family.
Oh my God, that's a lot. I mean, I guess that's a thing though. A lot of people have family group chats.
Yeah. And so what happened was, like, one of my fucking old aunts made a group chat of like everyone in the family.
Oh God.
Which it'll just never, like, don't do that. Don't. And it's like via text. It's not like on WhatsApp. It's not on Facebook Messenger.
It should be a Facebook group.
And oh my God. So my aunt is sending photos of her and my grandpa. And my grandpa is on the decline. He has a little bit of dementia now. Like, he's, you know, so she's like sending photos of him. And then I think she was sending them to the wrong group chat, because this is actually not just my family. It's part of my dad's girlfriend's family, or I'm sorry, my dad's fiance's family. I don't know why the fuck they're in a chat with the rest of my family, but so she's sending the photos, right?
Yeah.
My dad responds and goes, "Stop sending this shit." A photo of my aunt and my grandfather. And then
your dad.
And then my rude ass cousin, the one who I actually told you guys about a few months ago that, like, we got in a fight, he responds and says, "Stop hijacking the Thanksgiving message." And then I respond, because I'm like, no, fuck you. Don't be rude to our aunt and our grandfather.
God.
And I said,
it's also hard through text because you cannot read into tones. And we talk about this all
my dad said, "Stop sending that shit." So I think that's a pretty clear tone to me. And I know my father.
Yeah.
And I know my cousin. So I'm like, no, fuck you guys. You guys are fucking mean. So I said, "You guys are incredibly rude. That's our grandfather." And then he says, "Then take your ass over there to see him, goddammit."
Oh my God.
Like, okay, well, first of all, what does that even have to do with anything? I'm just asking you. Let me read you guys my response. I said, "What does that have to do with anything? All I'm saying is don't be an asshole," which I understand is extremely difficult for you, but at the very least, give it a shot.
Oh my God.
And then I also say, "By the way, that was more directed at my father, but if the shoe fits and you get triggered, I don't know what to tell you." And then
the family drama
the tea is insane.
Real.
And Ashley, my cousin, steps in at this point and is like, talking to him, and he's like, dude, serious. She's talking to my cousin and goes, dude, seriously, uncalled for, back off. And then Angela goes, you too. I'll tell him you said hi. And he'll probably say, Ashley who? Like talking about my grandfather because he has dementia.
Oh my God.
And then my dad chimes in, and everyone starts.
You come from a family of savages.
Guys,
this explains.
Does it all make sense?
This explains so much.
And then so everyone starts sending like gifts, like just stupid gifts. And then my dad goes, ladies and gentlemen, Margie's mom and a couple others are on this line of messaging, just FYI. And then
they shouldn't be here either.
I know. And then my dad sends a text like as a quote, and he goes, I was thinking that the Martin family must be normal, and Matt my dad's name is Matt, and Matt must be the only crazy one, but I can see they're all crazy. And then he quoted it from Margie's mom, who is his fiance's mom. And I said, don't make us roast her too. And she's on the chat.
Why did you say that?
Because we're like, okay, so we were having a whole conversation, right?
Oh my God,
and then he
up.
chimes in and says like his fiance's mom called us all crazy, and I was like,
y'all are real savage.
I was like, don't make us roast her too.
Oh my God, that's so confrontational. I'm cringing.
It's so I mean, obviously I said it as a joke.
The
tone
it turned more lighthearted towards the end.
And I mean, of course everyone was like sending stupid gifts and being like, we're all fucking crazy. And
it's like, no, but actually.
And then my cousin responds and was like, I proudly embrace my lunacy. And then Ashley goes, therapy is a better alternative.
I'm dead.
Yeah, so
savage.
And so we kind of like ended it there, but like, I'm just not trying to have that energy at Thanksgiving, bro. No. Like, because in person it's a lot more like uncomfortable. Like I'm not trying to have these conversations, you know, like
where you can't like get yourself out of it. Yeah, easily. Well,
it's not worth the food.
It's funny because. Or is it? It's funny because like my mom and I got into it yesterday actually, because she was like kept asking me questions about the picnic and like what she should do, if she should invite her friend, if her friend should invite her dog, if Ellie will get along with her dog. And I'm like, I don't fucking care. Tell me to show up or not. I will bring a dish. I will bring my dog. Like, you're the organizer.
Yeah, but you didn't sign up to like organize everything.
She was like, well, Mom, if you're listening, sorry. You know, this is told from my point of view, but she was like, I'm not asking you for that. I'm just asking. And I'm like, you are stressing yourself out over this. And she's like, I'm not stressing myself out. This is stressing me out. I'm like, oh, no,
ma'am.
No, ma'am. I'm sorry. That's where
Back it up.
That's where I'm going to stop you.
That's where we're going to stop you.
I'm going to stop you.
You are, in fact, stressing yourself
I'm like,
out.
You're coming at me with a lot of shit right now. And she's like, well, we shouldn't have been having this conversation because you're not mentally in the space. I'm like, I'm not, but it honestly, like,
you should have checked if I was in the space.
It brought up, well, I called her because she was like, when can we talk about it? And I was like, let me just get this over with. Yeah. Because I'm like, you know, I feel like I just got to handle it. But it brought up a lot of like valid feelings, which I talked to Jess about, because I was like, I was in a place and everything's fine now because my mom and I are actually fine. We like talked it out. I cried it out. I had to like get out a good cry, you know?
Yeah, no, because it builds up, you know, something inside of you.
Yeah, and I
definitely cried at those messages, by the way. I know like I'm like fucking around, but like those messages like really upset me. And yeah,
it's upsetting.
Family can really bring up a lot of shit for you.
It's upsetting, and I'm thankful that we have the relationship where we can talk it out, you know, because it got to points where we were like, shoot, we were about to hang up angry, and I just feel like I've grown so much since then where I'm like,
there's just no need.
No.
Yeah, we can de-escalate this right now.
Let's just handle it now, like, or else it's gonna draw out, and no one wants that. So yeah, it ended up just bringing up a lot of good stuff of like, you know, me kind of having to draw a boundary with my mom because she's very she can be overbearing, but she knows that, and she does try to not be, but even her trying to not be is still more overbearing, I think, than the average parent. She's involved and invested, and like,
very.
And where I was struggling was that I didn't want to take that for granted, and I never want to take her for granted. So it's like, you know, I never want to ignore her. So it's like when she texts me, I feel like I have to text back. When she calls me, I feel like I have to call back. But I was struggling between telling her to kind of like push back, like give me some fucking space, but also like, one of my goals for my 25th year was to spend more time with family and reach out to family more and just not take them for granted.
Yeah. But, you know, I think that there's a good balance there with like setting a boundary, like, because you can definitely spend more time with your family without like compromising your own boundaries and your own,
especially because
stuff.
There's different ways to go about it, like, and which I told her is because, you know, the day would come and she'd be like, what are you doing today, brunch? And I'm like, that's not how my days work. Like, my days are planned out ahead. We were saying this, even if I'm not leaving the house, my day is planned. I have a work schedule that I'm following, and I'm not trying to inconvenience like my plan to see you, but that doesn't mean I don't value your time and your presence and your company. But I would love to make plans.
But you almost want to be like absolutely the fuck not. Like, what? No. And like if anyone asked me to do anything the day of, I'm like, how do you fucking think this works? And obviously, you know, it's your mom, so it's a little bit differently.
And she's in a different place in her life.
Yeah, but like, if anyone were to message me like that, I would be like, I would get defensive. I'd be like, no.
Like, what do you think I'm doing? Life? Just like sitting in my room fingering myself, just like waiting for someone to hit me up. Like,
yeah, exactly, dude. I'm like, absolutely not.
And she stays being like, what are you doing today, beach? And I'm like,
and well, but it's hard. You know, I understand the struggle because it's like, well, mom, of course I would love to.
Right.
I would love to just be able to do these things with you, but I need a heads up. Like, that's how my life is working right now. And
it's almost frustrating because it's like, well, yeah, I would have loved to go to the beach with you today, but I have a whole day of plans.
Yeah, and then it's almost like, there's just a lot of mixed feelings. And you have FOMO because, you know, you want to go and you want to.
And then I feel bad because I feel like I'm ditching her, but I'm like, we never made plans, you know? I don't want to feel like I'm dodging my own mom. Mm-hmm. And then something I struggle with a lot is that, like, I have a friend from high school who lost both of her parents in the past year, or it might be 2 years by now. And, you know, she'll post stuff all the time that's like, answer their calls, reply to their texts. Like, I would do anything to have a 5-minute conversation with my mom. And like,
that breaks my heart.
Like, so I have that in the back of my mind. And it's like, how can I not call her? How can I not spend time with her, whatever time I can with her?
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I think that there's just like a balance because, you know, you can't compromise your own boundaries and, you know, and then make yourself feel bad for it. Like, you know, there has to be a balance of respecting yourself and respecting your time and also, you know, committing some time to them as well.
Yeah, and that's what we actually ended the conversation with, kind of. Like, the solution would be like, okay, we'll plan, you know, whatever it is, if it's once a month or once a week to hop on a call, like, we will schedule that out because that's how my life is right now. Is like, it needs to be scheduled because it's like, yesterday was Tuesday and she was like, okay, well, before we had the conversation and figured it out, she was like, okay, well, when's your next available day? And I looked at my calendar and I was like, Tuesday of next week is my next available day.
Literally don't have time to wipe my ass before then.
And I feel like that's such a bitchy thing to say. And so, like, my next day is next week.
No,
but at the same time, it's like, that's my next available day without myself inconveniencing
100%
or changing plans or something.
Yeah, no, even like people, like some people have been like hitting me up for like shoots lately, and they'll be like, hey, can you come do this like later, or can you do this tomorrow? And I'm like, my guy, I set my schedule, like, and you know, I don't want to sound bitchy, but I'm like, I set my schedule a week in advance, and don't hit me up, because it's like, because then what I'll do is I'll try to make it work, and then what I'll be doing is I'll be disrespecting myself and my time by trying to make this work for someone who, you know, obviously hasn't planned ahead. So it's like, you really can't compromise your own time for someone else. And of course, when it's family, you know, you go out of your way to make it happen. Like every Sunday I have a FaceTime with my mom and my siblings.
Nice.
And that works for us, you know, like, and that's like, we understand that, like, and also, you know, I have an older brother, and, you know, he's working 24/7 too, and my mom understands that. But, you know, it's like, we have that time and we respect that, and we don't fucking, you know, hit people up the day of and we're like, hey, let's talk for an hour or whatever it may be.
And I think I had built up like resentment from that, like, being a reoccurring thing, and me not being able to tell her, like, hey, you can't.
But then again, it kind of had to escalate for you to say something, because you had actually mentioned this to me a couple times. You're like, dude, my mom just invited me to the beach. Like, the fuck she invited me to the beach for?
I have like a shoot, a podcast, a meeting, and, like, you know, whatever,
trying to get a workout in, trying to eat lunch
in one day. And she's like, want a beach? Like, I can't help but be kind of bothered by that.
Of course. And I think that's like, even that, like, you know, you kind of feel bad for.
Yeah, exactly.
And I get it. Like, I really do.
Feel bad being like, no, mom, I don't have time to go to the beach with you.
Yeah.
Cause I want to. Like,
and you don't want to be like the bad guy and being like, no, Mom.
So then I'm mad at her making me feel bad.
Yeah.
And that just adds on top of it, you know? It's like, great, now I feel bad about it.
But, you know, at the end of the day, you guys talked it out.
Yeah, we
you
did.
set a boundary, and
it happened.
that's awesome for you guys.
Yeah, and it happened in a way that's like, it was good because I didn't have to like really think about what, like I ended up just like breaking down and crying to her, and she was like, what's going on? And then I kind of just like word vomited.
Yeah.
Which sometimes it works out better that way because
You have
know,
to be
like,
vulnerable sometimes.
you have to be vulnerable, and like she sees that my intentions are like, I'm torn. I want to set my boundaries, but I also don't want to take you for granted. And she was like, that's good. Like, it's okay. And I'm so thankful that
she
I have
understands that.
a mom who I can have those conversations with and has my best interest in mind and knows, you know, I'm not a bad person. I'm not out here trying to, you know,
it's actually
we're on the same team. We're playing on the same team.
It's actually funny that like you kind of had that though, because a few weeks ago for my birthday, I was like having dinner with my mom, right? And I had a similar situation because like I had a really busy day. I mean, just like any other day, I had a fucking podcast, I had to shoot, I had, you know, had a workout or whatever it may be. And like we had decided on like dinner at like 6:30, right? And I live fairly close to where we were going. And to get there, I was like rushing through shit. Like I was throwing shit everywhere. And I'm on my way. And
hate that energy.
And oh God, it was one of those days. And I was a little bit frazzled, but I was like, okay, I'm going to dinner. I'm releasing this energy. I'm good, whatever. And then I pull up and I fucking check my little sister's location, and they like haven't left after I get there. And so I call them. I'm like, hey, where are you guys? And I think this is before I checked their location. She's like, my mom's like, oh, we had to get gas and I forgot my wallet, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, kind of like, they're like laughing about it. They're like giggling about it.
And you're like pissed.
And I was like, okay. And then I kind of was like, and I was like, Mom, like, you know, I was like, I get it. Like, I'm not like mad, but like you could have told me when you forgot your wallet or that you needed to get gas. Because I could have spent, and it's stupid, but I was like, I could have spent 20 more minutes getting emails out. And, you know, I felt stupid and I felt mean saying it, but I was like, you know, I need you to respect my time. Like, I'm super fucking busy. And I said, listen, and I don't want you to think that, like, I don't honor this time with you. Right. And that it's and I was like,
that's an inconvenience.
It's not an inconvenience to you. And I had to have this conversation. I was like, it's not an inconvenience. However, it is a sacrifice for me. Yeah. And that doesn't mean that I don't enjoy the sacrifice. Right. I just need you to understand that at the end of the day, it is a sacrifice. Yeah. And it was really hard kind of communicating that without having her feel like an inconvenience, because she was like, well, if it's so hard to get dinner with me, and I was like, fuck. Like, I was like, Mom, that's exactly what I'm trying to not say. All I need from you is to respect that I'm really busy. Yeah. And like, you know, this, you know, that little bit of time could have, you know, helped me out today or whatever it may be. And
or you just didn't have to even rush, you know?
Yeah, I didn't have to like, and that was like the thing. And I said, you know what, listen, like, I'm sorry, like I rushed here. It's been a really long day. Yeah. And I don't want to be taking anything out on you. And like, it's really interesting, you know, like as, you know, we grow up as like busy people, like handling how you're, because our parents are becoming less busy. Yeah, and we're becoming more busy, and they want to hang out, and you're like, I can't fucking hang out. Like, yeah, I'm juggling my own shit right now,
and it's a hard conversation to navigate, because it's like you don't want them to be offended. You don't want them to feel taken for granted. And,
of course, you know. And of course, you know, like my mom just lost both of her parents in the past 2 years, right. So she's, I'm sure, you know, wanting to spend even more time. And and even myself with her, like I want to spend so much more time with her, and I love her, and she's one of my best friends, but it's like, it's just, there's so much.
Yeah, there's so much. I think the key to it is like really scheduling. Like I really like what you said about you guys do every Sunday, FaceTime. And for me, like that's usually Saturday, like the weekends are my time with Tyler. So it's hard. The weekends are my time with Juan, because he is in med school Monday through fucking Saturday. Sacrifice that time, but I can make time. Like we can make time. Hopping on his game for 30 minutes, and that's when I can use the time to, you know, reach out to my family. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, it's tough. It is tough, because it's like that's the people you're closest with. Yeah, and like we've said it before, and I'll say it again. Like we are the most triggered by family members because you're closest with them. And I think, like, not to get, you know, super deep, but you know, I think we have generational trauma. I think we have generational like issues that like kind of like stem throughout, like, because like, so for my family, like, you know, then, you know, my dad's side, like
you know, we have years of built up aggression and trauma and things like that. So like, I think that in that aspect, I am much more triggered by these people because it's like, it's almost like instilled in me in a way.
Yeah, it's instilled in you. And also it's like a loaded, what's the saying?
Not like a loaded gun, but like it's like a firework, like it's ready to explode.
Yeah, like not a time bomb, but there's shit there. You know, there's shit there. There's shit under the rug. There's shit in the back burner. Yeah, like there's shit there that hasn't been completely released and resolved.
No one in my family has ever done any sort of healing.
Yeah,
so it's
that's
like
tough. You're working with
literally me, and like
when the foundation of a building is not solid, it's like it's hard to build on top of.
And you know, and like I said, you know, I am so thankful for like my sane cousins because we all are constantly healing from that, like and we understand that we're all on that journey, and we all like recognize it, and we're also like there for each other, like, you know, and like, you know, because we are so close, like even my cousin and myself, Ashley, when we get into it, it's like a much more like raw and vulnerable conversation because we're like, okay, how much of this is shit from our families, and you know what I mean? Right. And even her, like, I get very triggered from.
Yeah, of course.
Because, you know, like whenever we get into an argument, like it feels like heartbreak. You know, it feels like I hate it. It makes me sick to my stomach. Yeah. So I mean, family is just a really, really tough space to navigate, and especially because everyone has their own shit, their own dynamics that like almost no one can like fully understand.
Yeah, and like I can't really even understand my own shit, you know. Like my mom will still say stuff because my mom is very introspective, and she's a therapist, and also she's just spiritual, and she's just constantly reflecting on the past, the future, the dynamic of her relationships now with, you know, people in her life, her kids, whatever. And still she'll bring shit up that I'm like, oh no, I don't think that's a like problem, and then it'll be like lingering in my brain.
Like, what are you talking about?
Like, for example, on our call yesterday, I was telling her like, oh, I feel guilty not answering a call, and she was like, well, yeah, growing up it was me and you, like it was me and you were like 10, and like I was her moral support at a very young age because she was really stressed out, she was sick, and it was just me at the house, and like I don't ever really think about that, but like
or how it's like affecting you in the current day.
I don't think about that, but she does, and like even her just saying that, I'm like, oh yeah, you're right. Like,
it's validating for you.
That is definitely where, but it's validating without even me knowing that it had to be validated. Does that make sense?
No, 100%.
I'm like, oh yeah, that part
happened. That happened. Yeah. I mean, like even like, you know, and I bring it back to like Ashley all the time, but like, you know, she was having an issue the other day, and I was like, you know, well, remember, you know, your dad did these things, you know, he did X, Y, and Z.
Right.
And she was like, and like she'll brush over things that like I remember about her and her father, and I'm like, yo, don't forget that like this shit happened to you. Like, and whatever you're feeling, you know, is extremely valid, and you know, you have to navigate space understanding that.
Yeah, facts. So yeah, if you guys have family issues, we're no therapists,
but we've been through some shit.
Well, it's nice to like have someone from outside perspective, because even before my mom and I like squashed it, I texted Jess and I was like, do you have the bandwidth for this right now? Because I gotta like just bounce this off someone else and see where I'm going wrong, or if I'm going wrong. It's all valid.
It's all valid. Even if the person who
isn't as
even if like the person who like, you know, it's on the other side doesn't understand it, or will never understand it,
or isn't receptive,
it does not mean it's any less valid for you. And you don't need that person to apologize or do anything to validate it. Like you can have those feelings and they can be valid, and you can understand that that person may never receive it or understand it or apologize,
but you have the power. Power is within you.
Yes.
With that being said, I kind of just want to talk about, other than, you know, Christopher Columbus being a fuckface and murdering a bunch of
indigenous people.
I just think it's a really great theme to be thankful, and that's something that I've practiced every day, and I'm consistently trying to practice. Is just like everything I journal is about gratitude and being thankful for what I have. I think it's so easy to get caught up in, you know, going after what you want, and things you want and things you don't have. And there really is, at the end of the day, granted, privilege, take that into consideration, but there really is so much to be thankful for. And I think your mindset, like whether you're seeing the world through an abundance lens or a scarcity lens, it makes such a big difference. Because yeah, I could sit here and think of all the things that I don't have or lack or that I want more of or that I want, but what good would that do me?
What would you say that, like, for someone that wants to kind of shift that perspective, like, what would you say is your first thing when you start noticing that you're, you know, not being grateful, or, you know, like, how do you shift that perspective in yourself?
I would start, like, the baseline for me is, like, my health. Okay. Because I think that's something that we all take for granted. Like, just take a deep breath. And we always say that. Or even, like, you know, the other day we were watching the sunset and I was like, I'm so thankful I can see this. I'm thankful for my sight right now because I can see these beautiful colors. And I think that's just a baseline, great place to start. Be thankful for your health. Be thankful for your limbs, right? Like, all your extremities, like, every single thing that it's the little things that we totally take for granted. Like, you don't know how much you take for granted your right hand until you lose your right hand and have to learn how to do everything with your left hand. Like, you know, like, so stuff like that I would say start at. And you can be there's gratitude to be found everywhere. The trees blowing.
And I think that, I mean, I was just reading, you know, I'm rereading The Power of Now right now, and something that I read this morning was that, like, even if you were to, like, get everything that you think that you need right now that's going to, you know, propel you into happiness, you would find new issues. You would find new fucking problems. You would not be happy. So the key is to really just be present and be like, I feel like it's even more than just, like, being happy with what you have.
Being content,
it's just understanding that, like, anything, it's not being happy with what you have. It's being happy with, like, yourself regardless, because if those things were taken from you, God forbid, you know, you should still be content on the inside. That.
And I think, like, if you're not happy now with what you have, like you said, you can get all of those things and your brain will still find something to want.
And it's and hear me out, it's not like you, it's your ego. Like, the ego will always,
we're going there.
The ego will always search for things. It'll always search for an issue. And you have to understand that, like, there is no issue in the current moment. Like, any issue that you have is in the past or it's in the future. Like, and of course, you know, I feel like I can speak on this pretty heavily because I've spoken about my mental health issues and how a few months ago I was really, really going through it and I was not in a good place. And I found it very hard to
be thankful for the current
be thankful for the present moment, be present in general. Like, you know, it's a lot easier said than done, but, you know.
And I think it's easier for the mind to want whatever's in the future more than it does right now.
Because we think that we think that once we reach something, we're going to be happy.
Once I make this amount of money, I'll be happy. Once I get this car, then I'll be happy. But guys, newsflash,
those things,
it might,
I mean,
last for, you know, a short, brief period of excitement or adrenaline.
And it's totally fine, and it's okay to be excited about things, and it's okay to be, you know, looking forward to things,
and find joy in it.
But, you know, the only pure joy and happiness is in the present moment and being, you know, thankful for what you have right now. And like Olivia said, like, a great starting point for that is your health. Being thankful for your health, being thankful that, you know, you can breathe, being thankful for the people around you, being thankful for.
And I also think it's just like you're putting that energy out. When you see your life in an abundance standpoint, you're going to keep seeing abundance come into your life. Like, I don't know if it's, you know, I don't know if I'm lucky or if I've just been practicing fucking gratitude for the past 5 years and probably before that, because life is fucking good. And even when I'm stressed about things, the universe fucking finds its way to have my back. And I just feel super blessed. And I appreciate that every day. There's not a day goes by that I'm not grateful for everything in my life, like, deeply.
And the thing is, when you're present, you let go of any sort of, like, any resistance. So it's like, you know, when things can happen, you know, things can go up, things can go down, you can, you know, something negative can happen, something positive can happen, and nothing changes within because you're present and because you understand that, like, the outside world doesn't matter as much as, like, what's inside of you, if that makes sense. And Olivia, off off camera brought up a really good point, is that like being present, you guys might not be able to entirely relate to that because being present, it kind of sounds like a little like woo woo, but what being present means to me as someone who, I don't meditate like all the time. I don't meditate as much as I should. I don't even read as much as I should. So I'm not, these ideals aren't anything crazy or unattainable for you. It's just being present is just being completely where you are without I think like letting your imagination get the best of you too. Yeah, it's just like
our brains love to fantasize the future and romanticize the past.
Yes. So like we're either constantly like in the future thinking about like what's to come or what's up next, or we're thinking in the past and like, listen, we've all sat there and tortured ourselves over something that we've done in the past.
For example, like, because what I was saying to her is like, I'm not sure everyone's understands what being present to the moment means and like how that correlates with gratitude. But a perfect example is saying, like I said, okay, for a breakup, like someone's going through a breakup, they're not happy in the present moment, they're in pain. But then she made the great point of like, but they're most likely reminiscing on the past and
that's why they're
romanticizing
sad.
The past, or they're fantasizing about what the future could have been, and
they're mourning that.
And
that's not to say that those feelings are not valid.
Right.
Feelings are valid, and that's not to say that we don't use the present and the past as tools in the now. However, there is no true pain in the present because we're either in the future or we are in the past. And of course, that's like a really difficult like ideal to grasp. And I don't even entirely do it myself all the time. But bringing yourself, like whenever you start to feel, anxious or whatever, all it takes is a second of self-reflection to think, okay, why? And then once you open up that dialogue within yourself, you are brought immediately into the future. In that little brief second of relief that you get, that is the present moment.
Yeah, and sometimes it's hard to see outside of that because like I even, with all the books I'm reading and with all the shit that we do and what we preach to you guys, like this is hard stuff to do.
Oh yeah, I don't be doing it all the time. I'm just letting you guys know.
And I caught myself in a downward spiral the other day of me just being lost in my negative thoughts of like what ifs and what coulds. It was anxiety. It was anxiety about one of our friends maybe having COVID, and my mind just went there. And then I literally I was like, I can't believe I let myself get so far off track before slapping myself in the face and being like, what are you doing to yourself?
Yeah.
So it's
what's
hard.
important is that you slap yourself in the face.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, my point in that is like, it's hard to recognize sometimes. You're just straight up lost in it.
No, of course.
Yeah.
And like, happens to me literally all the time, like once a day. But it's about, it's basically, it's a muscle. Yeah. Becoming present to the current moment is a muscle.
Checking yourself.
And all you have to do is like check yourself and remove yourself from.
It's like you're watching your thoughts like you watch TV. Like you need to be like observing your thoughts.
Yeah. And turn off the TV.
Yeah. Sometimes you just got to, or switch the channel,
Yeah.
So in light of that, I just want to say this Thanksgiving season, practice gratitude, be thankful for your family, be thankful for your friends, be thankful for your love, your health, your vision, whatever the small little things are. I would just
and if you guys want to start practicing gratitude in your daily life, Olivia once gifted me a journal called the 5-minute journal, and you do it like every day, and it's super quick and it just really helps you
just hold yourself accountable,
build that gratitude within yourself, build that muscle.
And starting your day like that too sets such a good foundation because you see everything in such a lighter way after like knowing like what matters and just grounding yourself in what matters. And then you go, and we always use the example of traffic, but I love it because it's like you hit the road and instead of getting pissed off at someone, you're like, all good, brother, come on in.
Don't know what that person's going through today, but I wish them luck.
But I'm praying for them.
Get well soon.
Literally. It's so funny because like I just feel like some podcasts are like, Thanksgiving episode, what are you thankful for? Turkey, friends, Instagram. And we're like, all you have is the present moment.
You've got to do the work.
But I feel like we haven't had a good like spiritual episode in a while. And this is so real for us, guys. Like this is
our truth.
This is what comes out when we
And we didn't write any of this shit down, by the way.
Yeah, no.
This was just a spew.
It goes where it goes, and we're like we said, we're flowing these days, and we're letting it happen.
Hell yeah, brother.
All right, I think that's it. We love you guys. Anything else?
Nope. I hope you guys have a great non-toxic Thanksgiving, COVID-free. If you guys liked this episode, please take a screenshot, share it on your story.
Also, we decided we're gonna do like a little holiday giveaway for the pod. We have so much.
I sounded so stupid. I'm so sorry.
Yes, we have so much shit that has been piling up that we would be so gracious to give to you guys.
Hell yeah, brother.
Get it off our plates. And
also 10 likes and I'll get hell yeah, brother tattooed.
Yeah, she's just waiting for it. And yeah, that's it. So look forward to a giveaway, look forward to merch, look forward to an episode next week, and we'll see you next week. Bye.